I'm going to start over. Hi all, welcome to tonight's Vibrational Upgrade Clearings and Activations call. To all of you regular listeners of Dr. Allison's monthly calls, thank you for being here. And welcome to all of you newer folks who are here tonight. There are tons in here. I know some of you attended the special Zoom event last night. It was all about juicing you and your desired manifestations up. It was amazing to say the least. Dr. Allison was full on as usual, and I hope you benefited. It focused on clearings and activations to give yourself permission and to take action so that you can manifest your heart's desire. The replay is already available. You can check that out on our Vibrational Upgrade Facebook group, Sustain a High Vibe and Access to Your Magic, or just keep your eyes peeled for the email that came out a short time ago. I saw it come out earlier today. So it's hard to believe that it's almost November. We've got the full moon right around the corner. It's a rare blue moon, second moon this month. We've got our election on Tuesday. That should be interesting. And then it's holiday season, and by the way, I hope you voted. It's been full on for most of us this whole year, as a matter of fact, but I just wanted to remind you, and especially let you know that there's always time to take, there's always a, you need to take some time for yourself to make sure that you're on the path that's going to be taking you where you want to be. And it's harvest season too. It's Samhain, it's the Celtic calendar, it's the time for release. This combined with the full moon and tonight's call is truly an amazing opportunity to release and heal. There's going to be more of these opportunities coming up tonight, so stay tuned. And speaking of being full on, Dr. Allison has been immersed in leading retreats for the past several weeks with her mastermind students. So typically 2 times a year, and even more in the future, Dr. Allison would be in Glastonbury in the UK now for a couple of months. But like in May, the virus situation's changed all that. She's had to stay home, as have all her students worldwide, rather than traveling to be together. So even so, Dr. Allison devised a way to offer a spectacular retreat experience to her students from afar, just as she does with the majority of folks who work with her from afar all the time. So this is nothing really new to her. The energy level and connection that she's pulled off has been extraordinary. And those that work with her in magic manifestation and money flow, and even in our vibrational upgrade group, have really felt that. She's reached a new level. So her students have commented they've been blown away by not only the connection that she's cultivated and the ability to have their retreats virtually, and it's been, totally immersive. Her Dragon Master students are receiving additional attunements in the vibrational upgrade system so that they are ready to become practitioners, launching them with the skills and energy medicine techniques unique to vibrational upgrade. It's exciting that more and more people will be able to receive the change that they're looking for any mind, body, spirit issue, including career, money shortages, not mentioning even, following your intuition. Really anything that you want can be changed from this change program. Some of you are already familiar with Dr. Allison's background, but I'll remind you because I really wanted to share with you why she does what she does. So after graduating from college, she pursued a master's degree because she literally wanted to save the planet. She focused her energy on a career in politics with the goal to improve the environment through conservation. And though her passion was strong then, and it's still strong, the vast machine at that time in the early 90s was heavily invested in fossil fuels, and she realized that her mission was best served by focusing on one person at a time. She left the Western machine to head east to study subtle energy while teaching in the public school system, and she practiced energy medicine and wellness sessions on the side. So she returned to the U.S. after spending a full 10 years in Asia. She was armed with even more magic and energy that she realized at that time, and this formulated the base of her vibrational upgrade system. Allison's been practicing as a mind-body energy healer for more than 25 years. She's been working in yoga, meditation, qigong, energy medicine, mind-body fitness, nutrition, longevity, behavioral health, holistic health. She's the only person that I'm aware of who truly understands the flow of energy. You can feel it from the physical body to the plane of the universe. She's a total pioneer in the field of energy medicine and consciousness, and is known by her peers as a thought leader. So as I mentioned earlier, Dr. Allison spent a decade in Asia studying subtle energy, which allowed her to become an expert in the field of subtle energy. She's considered to be one of the leading experts, even more so on using the chakra system as the roadmap for thriving in the mind, body, and spirit while applying it in a really unique way. Dr. Allison's background has set her up to be able to share the stage with such thought leaders as Bruce Lipton, David Wolfe, Joe Vitale, Krishna Das, Bob Proctor, Reverend Michael Beckwith, Greg Braden, David Wilcox, and Dr. Mercola. In addition to her vast collaborative network, Allison is an internationally best-selling author. Her books include What If There's Nothing Wrong? Then she wrote Vibrational UPgrade, A Conspiracy for Your Bliss, Using Humanity's Evolutionary Transition. That was endorsed by Yogi Amrit Desai, who's the founder of the Kripalu Yoga Institute in the Berkshires. And he's also a client, by the way. Her most recent #1 internationally smashing bestseller is Reasonable Dragons, How to Activate the Field of Possibilities Where Logical Magic is the New Normal. That was endorsed by both Bob Proctor and Joe Vitale. You should really grab a copy. It's on Amazon. It's also on Audible, if that's what, the spoken version of the book. And that's really magical. You guys should really snap one of those up because you can really feel the energy coming through as she's speaking it. It's really cool. So if it's not clear from what I've told you about Allison's experience, her lifelong pursuit of healing, energy, medicine, and helping others achieve their highest potential, just sit back and absorb this call. And I know there's a few of you I talked to recently and others I've spoken to and really wanted you to get a feel for what Dr. Allison's medicine and energy and vibe is all about, and this is where you're going to feel that. Tonight's call is bound to be amazing. It always is. Allison's been holding these monthly calls for years now. I mean, just think of that, years. Every Thursday night, last Thursday of the month, for years, like a decade. What commitment is that? Holy shit. Sorry. She started this as a way to and serve the community. I'm sorry, you guys. I just like, it dawned on me. Can you imagine, like, committing so much? It just, like, the last 10 years, every Thursday night, the last Thursday of the month, to reach out and talk to people that she doesn't, see face to face. And anyway, but she does this because she really wants to help and service humanity and help people and reach out to people.
Canceling, ever, no matter what was going on, either.
Hey, you, pipe down in the peanut gallery. I'm not done yet. Well, there's the passion. You guys can hear it. She's totally dedicated. And I know your biggest joy, sister, is to get another person free. And that's really what it's all about. Helping you help yourself. She's helping you do that. And it's been even more wild, the acceleration of the energy output that you just blasted out there for the last, 10 months since this COVID thing and the bans. And you've just been a crazy workhorse. You've been able to tap into even more guidance and developed more cool ways to reach people and to help people in different ways and help spark people off on their own businesses. It's just phenomenal. So I'm going to let you have the floor because it's your floor anyway. So there you go.
Oh, received, sister. Thank you. Listen to you, rocking that out on a Thursday night after a hellacious week for you at work. And then fun with all of us in play. Oh, okay, so welcome. I know there are a lot of new folks here. You're pressing star 2 if you're on the phone, and that way you can raise your hand. I can call on you, whoever's going to be the biggest, bestest contribution to the field. working with you and your issue, knowing that I will serve others. I always ask my guidance to lead me to, out of the multitude of hands raised, who will serve the collective the best. So that's pressing *2 on the phone. There you go, you guys. So I know that there's some of you on webcast too, and my virtual assistant and a couple of different members of my team actually have worked with instant teleseminar, the providers of this service, asking about how come we can no longer see the question and answer box. And they said all is well. And yet for months now, I can no longer access the questions and answers that you may be submitting into the webcast, that chat box there, that square. Usually it's on the bottom left. So I apologize for that. I've been sitting here while Claire's been talking, hitting the refresh button. You don't need to know about this technological glitch. I just want to let you know I'm not ignoring you, those of you on the webcast, but hop on the phone line and you can raise your hand pressing *2, and that way I can definitely get you, and I apologize for that. I mean, we've really gone gung-ho. I've paid to have this investigated so that I can be able to access you guys on the webcast. All righty. Hey, you know how Claire said that it's really any issue? And she also said that thing about the chakras that I'm known as one of the more unique approaches and a specialist in specifically the chakra column itself. So if a chakra means wheel from Sanskrit to English and is the intersection of mind, body, and spirit, remembering that I'm a trained yoga teacher in India, traditionally trained, the mind, body, spirit intersection means that if I'm accessing your throat chakra and doing some work on it, between the spirit part, I'm able to go in and get to the more spiritual, past lives, karmic aspects of who you be in that their body of yours. And when we catch things in the subtle energy, so the Tibetans refer to the spectrum as, and I don't mean the spectrum as in America and the West diagnostics for autism, the spectrum of physical to subtle energy. So the most physicalized energy is they call gross, and it's not in the typical usage of, oh man, you picked your nose and flung your boogie, gross. Not that kind of gross, right? With the teenage boys or tween boys or less than 10 years old and the girls, whatever. Not that kind of gross, but gross like is crudely physical. So that's like the most extreme level of physicalization all the way over to the most subtle. And I was just saying actually to two of my Grand Dragon Masters in the last day of retreats today about how when you look at the chakra column, there's a cross, and the horizontal line of the cross, like Christ on a cross, is at the heart chakra. So it intersects at the heart chakra. So all of the chakras, heart down, are from the elements of the earth, air, fire, water. And once we go above the heart chakra to the throat, to the third eye, or the sixth chakra in between the eyebrows, pineal gland, or pituitary, I always do that. Crown is pineal. And then even above, when you start to go into the 12th chakra column, those get increasingly subtle or increasingly etheric. And so I've been steeped also living with the Chinese for 10 years, studying their holistic health and wellness and getting treatments every weekend and asking questions about the flow of energy and correlating that with what I already had known about chakras and then what I learned later while working on people and then the training in India. The throat chakra, then the third eye up to the crown chakra are increasingly etheric or lighter. And the Chinese don't get past a more crude level of subtle energy. So their focus is, and I talked about this in my first book, What If There's Something Wrong? I wrote that my last year, the 10th year, going for my PhD. It began as my dissertation. There's a lot that I learned from that decade over there. So if you really want to, that's like basically a text. It's been considered to use that as a text in my trainings. That is where I go into contrasting the differences between the Hindu yoga culture and the traditional Chinese medical culture. That births Taoism behind Qigong, which is behind all martial arts like Tai Chi. So their understanding, they focus in the traditional Chinese medical system on more the liver and the kidneys. And while that subtle energy, the interconnectedness, how you might get a needle for acupuncture stuck in your toe when you're there because you have a pain in your neck, and you might wonder, why are you all the way down there at my toe? That's because of how energy flows in the body. But the yogic Ayurvedic culture and wisdom goes even more subtly. And so in understanding, like if you come to me because you want to have improved relationships with your spouse and your kids, and you're finding yourself really triggered easily, you want to move beyond this core block in your relationship, what also is likely to get worked on is your third chakra, because that's your power center. That's involved in codependence. It's involved in power struggles. It's involved in confidence, self-esteem, self-worth, empathicness, the machinery to pick up what others have. Like when you walk into a room, even tonight as you're sitting on this call, as you're assessing the vibes, you do that particularly more so when you're in a physical room. As you walk into it, you do that with your solar plexus. So by all of the chakras being part of a central column, the Sushumna, and there being flow of energy between them, one of the other things I tell my students is that, let's say if we're working on a blocked third chakra, if we work one chakra down the sacral, one chakra up the heart, that will typically help the third chakra open. So that's how you could come to me, like with a relationship issue or block, that's the main thing you want to work on, or money issue, a career issue, that's the main block that you want to work on. And I'm ending up working on your relationship with your dad and something that happened in childhood that you haven't thought about ever since childhood. So when Claire says about getting people free is my greatest joy, indeed, and I mean free of restrictions that at the beginning level you can look at and think this outside world COVID gig is really restricting my life. And I would chalk that off to 10% of what happens in our lives that we just have no control over. I know most metaphysical teachers or in the spiritual community or the LOA community, everything that comes to us in our lives is because of the vibration we're casting out there. I don't, from everything I've seen, studied, heard, listened to, experienced, saw in my practice with others, on clients and students, is about 10% that's random. And so we could say COVID is a planetary karmic kind of gig. So we don't have control over that, but 90% of what happens in our lives we do. And so it's what happens inside of us. So our conclusion that this sucks, for example, I mean, that has some genuine intuitive awareness to it. This is not overly joyous, the COVID gig, where there's so much suffering and so much grief and so much unnecessary loss. But at the same time, where do you have power within how you're framing it? You got it. So vibrational upgrade goes in with energy medicine and clears the unconscious and subconscious blocks that could be from trauma, past life, or karma, or contracts you took, and you'll hear it as I get into the clearing next, or a variety of aspects, imprints from your parents, conditioning from society that are at an unconscious or subconscious level. And as I say in Reasonable Dragons, it's a nice estimate to say it's only 85%. I believe it's higher from everything I've seen. Of what we choose on a daily basis is done on a robotic level, right? So if we're not consciously choosing much of how we go about our day and what we do within our days, we just assume we have to be in this job in order to make that money, in order to pay those bills, in order to have that house and the upkeep for our family. We just forget that all of that implies we've made choices, and where we don't even see beyond our peripheral, like where there's other possibilities out there for an entirely different track. That's what I love to open up. And that's what these times are for, as my second book goes into. After talking with the Mayan specialist about there's so much I could get into, and I won't because it's backstory. If you want to know about contextualizing COVID and why it might be occurring, I've been talking about this since 2011, that we're going through what's considered humanity's greatest evolutionary leap. That's in my second book, Vibrational UPgrade, A Conspiracy for Your Bliss, Easing Humanity's Evolutionary Transition. And this is considered our greatest evolutionary leap ever. Now, I did 2.5 years of a radio show where I had weekly shows starting in 2011, and a lot of those were with scientists and specialists on the Mayan December 21st, 2012 galactic alignment date. And there's all these other sources like the Kali Yuga from yoga about how important and intense these times are. as one paradigm crumbles and before we have a new one put in place. So that's where we are. So what about that reframing right there? To better contextualize, and what if there's nothing wrong? The picture on the front cover is a woman on a mountaintop, and that's to help gain perspective. And take, as I used to say more frequently to my meditation students when I was teaching meditation in the classroom, when I was teaching psychology, I would say take the mountaintop view as a way to cultivate the observer. Nowadays, I say to my students, take the satellite view. So the system works with energy medicine, clearing the unconscious and subconscious blocks so that you have more consciousness at your disposal. And then there's a retraining with the mindfulness. I've spent decades meditating and then teaching it. And I speed up that process with the vibrational upgrade system so that I've said to my students out loud, and I'm a little bit, aware, and it's part of me, the naturally humble part of me that doesn't want to say this. But the reality is that I've said to students, oh my God, like when I've looked at some of the results I've gotten, those who work with me through Magic Manifestation Money Flow, my signature program, and then go into the mastermind, like a year in, I find myself saying, oh my God, you've made so much progress. Like that took me 5 years to get through. So there's ways to speed up the process of redirecting your neurology, going down and creating new pathways in your mind from meditation, pull off of the thoughts and come back to the breath. Those new neurological pathways is a quicker way to do it, and it's with the energy medicine. So that gives you a little bit of an understanding of why we talk about getting people free and being able to apply it to any area of your life. So let's do that right now. In one of the pieces of guidance I got, I did take some space with as crunched as my schedule has been to tune into you all and see what would serve you most on tonight's call. I'm going to do a general clearing first before I start calling on callers. And again, if you want to get some laser-focused, intuitive, holistic coaching for mindfulness along with clearings and activations on any issue, don't be shy. Press star 2. Don't keep yourself small. Speak it. Press star 2 on the phone in your hand. The first thing that came up when I checked in with what would serve you all is basic human goodness. So anywhere and everywhere where you have come to be blocked with believing in basic human goodness, would you be willing to burn up with the flames of transmutation? This is where you want to say yes out loud because it'll invite the energy in more.
Yes. 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 Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. I really would like those yeses a little bit louder, please. Let's try it again.
Yes.
Hell yes.
Yes. Yes.
Dr. Allison, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, a little more enthusiasm. So we're going to burn up anywhere and everywhere where you have forgotten or you have become blocked to being able to believe and remember about the basic human goodness that the majority of us have. So as I do the invocation, hold on a moment, please, silently. I'm going to be doing it. So any and all karma, as appropriate, that's in any way blocking your ability to remember about basic human goodness and seeing it and perceiving basic human goodness, burning all of that up with the flames of transmutation. Any and all free-floating thoughts and traumas. That are in any way blocking you from seeing, perceiving, believing in basic human goodness, remembering. Any and all imprints from your parents, and imprints from your parents' parents and lineage. any and all conditioning from the trance of the masses, any and all contracts, oaths, vows, swearings, promises across all timelines and lifetimes, and at any level of consciousness, subconscious, unconscious, conscious mind, any beliefs you have or evaluations you have about humanity that is making you blocked with seeing, perceiving, and remembering the basic human goodness. Burning it all up now with the flames of transmutation. Some of you may want to inhale and exhale to allow more to release. Some of you may want to inhale and exhale to allow more to release again. Anything and everything that blocks you from seeing, perceiving, and remembering basic human goodness, all of that's getting burned up with the flames of transmutation. I just saw like a screen across some of your eyes, especially the third eye, like lifting, as if a curtain lifting it was happening. Good. Just a couple of you just popped. And if some of you breathe in and out again, it's going to go deeper down into your sacral and solar plexus. And once it gets down into your belly, some of you will get a lot of relief. Some of you may be perceiving a little bit of pain in the back and the spine, or tingling, or twitching, or heat, or shivers. Good. Activating the upgrade now. Sending all latent keys and codes and ancient wisdom and latent talents within you, and any and all blessings and support possible to bring this all into alignment with your at least fifth dimensional divine blueprint for your highest potential and your highest possibilities to be realized, and for your divine destiny to become physically actualized. Activating the upgrade now. The cynicism was also something that I saw leaving. So then when I checked in, surprise, surprise, as some of you who are in the Activate Your Magic basic membership, where the basic program, where it's not so basic really, where you can stay updated with these energies. Our call at the beginning of the month was all about money, the group activations and clearing call. And last night's Zoom event originally wanted to be all about money, so I could serve you all with some of the increasing money worries out there due to what's happening in the economy. Last night, instead, we did one on manifestation because it felt like it actually better served the population. So what if the economy, now this is going to sound radical to some of you. I'm a disruptor. I'm not an honorer of the status quo. What if the talk you're hearing about the economy being bad, or the emphasis on unemployment rates and job loss and small business closings, what if it's not bad or wrong? What if the economy isn't bad? I don't mean they're lying to you. I don't mean fake news. I don't mean any of that stuff. I mean, what if it's actually a new opportunity? for you to connect into a different place with yourself, within yourself, and listen to maybe a calling that you may have pushed down before, or a desire that you may have pushed down before. Now it's the time for you to be able to, some of you get it, because I can feel some of you having done that during this time. And you have. I know some of you in 3M have done that, and in Mastermind. 3M being magic, manifestation, and money flow. So when I was looking into that, I again, of course, saw money, but it's not just worried about not enough money anymore, especially for those of you who've been regularly on the call. It's about this repulsion, as an in air quotes now, soft, spiritual, end quotes, person. The possible or implied, really likely repulsion you have with marketing, with business, with money. So all of the places where you get turned off with marketing, where you hate being marketed to, instead of possibly, for example, appreciating the creativity or appreciating the new idea that's getting launched out there. That reactive, reflexive resistance to marketing, to business, to you being in business, to money. Would you be willing to burn up with the flames of transmutation? If you have a different reality with money?
Yes.
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 Thank you, beloveds. Okay, so let's let you start a different relationship with money. So burning it all up now with the flames of transmutation so that you can have a different relationship with money, business, marketing, success in the material world, and with materialism itself as a quote-unquote soft spiritual person. Giving me just a moment to invoke, please. Ooh, so much help that wants to get to you with this one in particular. So any and all imprints from your parents, imprints from your parents' parents and lineage, conditioning from the trance of the masses, contracts, oaths, vows, swearings, promises, blood oaths, across all lifetimes and timelines, including but not limited to vows of poverty, vows of austerity, any and all karma as appropriate, including but not limited to financial karma, any and all free-floating thoughts and traumas, conclusions, beliefs, evaluations. Bring it all up now with the flames of transmutation. Any part of you that's seemingly automatically reactive in resistance to money, distaste for money, distaste for marketing, distaste for business, distaste for you in business. As if you're not supposed to have a positive relationship to quote-unquote materialism, so that you can have a new relationship with money, business, marketing, materialism. There was some trauma in there about when you failed before, and it's not only this lifetime. When you've had money before and lost it, or were running a business and it got run into the ground. When you've gone for a job promotion or a job raise and you haven't gotten it. We've gone for a job position and you haven't gotten it. This includes resentment towards others when they have material success, and then a judgment about how they're just greedy or materialistic, hiding some form of jealousy, but not just pure jealousy. Repulsion. As if any interest in the material means you're not spiritual, that conclusion at a deeply collective unconscious level. This wants to bring in the self-punishing, maybe from religious backgrounds in other lifetimes, self-flagellation, for example, self-punishing. And the way you do that today, nowadays, is through disregarding money, saying it's not important, or rejecting it, so that you're less than desired positioning with how you are with money is actually you punishing yourself. What I'm hearing now is abhorrence of the sensual. Checking out of the material plane, the physical plane, not wanting to be here, floating up above, meditation, connecting to angels, etc. It's too competitive. It's too hard. I'll never measure up. Having ease with money is only for those types of people. It feels like a parental imprint. What also wants to be included is the purity test. I've even heard that here, like checking in to see how pure my motivations are and if there's a whiff of marketing that's going on. The tuning out is if I have to have totally pure intentions when in fact I'm a business owner. It's not about paying me, it's about you investing in yourself. So all of the old conditioning about what marketing is and what types of people do marketing that blocks you from actually being able to access something that would help you. It's also getting burned out. Cynicism, skepticism. And pure raw rejection of money. Rejection of opportunities, rejection of letting yourself have a better situation. Whether that's the self-worth, that's also getting burned up in relation to this issue. Self-confidence, not feeling good enough to quote-unquote rise in your station. Self-sabotage, with not letting yourself go for more. And as Claire said about the permission, not giving yourself permission to go for something bigger and better for yourself. Fear that you'll lose people if you do. Fear that you won't fit in. Fear that you'll piss your spouse off. All of the unconscious conclusions you have about who you would have to be if you were to own a business, or if you were to up your game with money. All of the labeling you have unconsciously or even consciously of yourself as you're bad with money, that's just the way it is. The lack of self-forgiveness when you've made crappy money choices. The mutually exclusive conclusion of if I care about people, then I don't care about money. Good shifting. Activating the upgrade now. Sending all latent keys and codes and ancient wisdom within you, and any and all blessings and support possible to bring this all into alignment with your at least fifth dimensional divine blueprint for your highest potential and for your highest possibilities to be realized. Activating the upgrade now. A lot of lovely, playful support that wants to flush out to you all. Like little money fairies. I don't know if you can perceive it, like gold coins trickling in. Okay. Oh, much lighter. Let's go ahead and call on some people. Let me look at the list of those of you with your hands raised. Star 2. Elk Grove, Illinois. I don't have a name. Elk Grove, Illinois. It's you. You there? Elk Grove, Illinois, area code 847. It's you.
847.
It's you.
It's me.
Who is this?
Susie.
Hi, Susie. I think
Hi.
you're new to me.
I am.
So, in a couple of sentences, Susie, what is it you want help with?
I guess in the big picture, finding my purpose is extremely important to me. I felt like I was on a path, and now I'm not on a path anymore.
When did the disruption seem to appear of not being on your path anymore?
Well, it was more like I was kind of defined by my job. I felt like it was kind of my purpose, like I was on my way with it. And then I had some physical problems and became unable to work.
Susie, when was that? Give me a year.
Like 2004.
Okay, so that was a while ago.
Yeah, it's been a rough road.
So what makes you think you're not on purpose right now with what you've been doing?
I was very goal-oriented, and now I don't feel like that anymore, and I haven't felt like that in a long time.
And what if there's nothing wrong with that?
Yeah, I just feel lost. I don't...
Okay. You don't what?
I don't know. I feel like I used to be, I guess, more important. And now I don't feel like that anymore.
Mm. So I'm going to ask you a really point-blank question, and it's okay if you can't answer it.
Okay.
When you say, okay, thanks for playing.
Mm-hmm.
when you say, I don't feel important anymore, if we're playing a trivia game and we're on a game show and I'm the game show host and you have two tablets in front of you that you have to put up on a screen, and for the answer, one of the tablets says soul and one of the tablets says ego mind. Which one of those would you choose as the correct answer and then put up on the board? That
soul.
So you believe that your soul is telling you that you used to feel important, you used to be important, and you're no longer important.
No. Definitely, I know it's my ego mind. That's where I feel lost.
Good girl. Well, that's the nature of the ego mind, really. I mean, so one of the reversals I got when I lived on the other side of the planet and my world was turned inside out because of how completely opposite it is. Like, we're individualistic over here, they're collective. Just leave it at that, as the long list that I could get into about the cultural differences. And the seeding, the feminine, the yin of the yin-yang, you know the yin-yang symbol?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The black is the feminine, the white is the masculine, and the black is like the void, the womb, when a child is being cooked within the womb.
Yes.
And so one of the trainings we have in America, conditionings, and in the West, is that idea of accomplishment outwardly, and that our job position gets us recognition so that we feel important. And one of the transitions I've been seeing happen during, more so like it happened earlier for some people, like around, I would say 25-ish, 2005. So you said 2004. Yep.
Yeah.
But when it really started kicking in waves, so more people in 2010, more people in about 2013, more people in 2016, and what some are saying is this COVID gig is to get the rest of the masses shifted out of that outward ego focus and more balanced with inward direction in our connection to source, to the divine, following our guidance. And that requires stillness, and that requires not outward movement. So there's a bunch of Qigong moves that teach that, like just the flows of energy are taught through Qigong, and I'm a practitioner and teacher of Qigong, and there's this stepping out and then withdrawing back in with your hand positions facing in a certain way so that you really perceive there's times to go out and there's times to pull in. And so what I saw happen is this loss of job or physical diagnosis, or someone they loved died, or divorce, or all of the above happening for people, so that it became their own awakening as we were approaching the awakening times, which really started. They're marked by December 21st, 2012, the end of the old paradigm and the beginning of the new. But like I'm saying, the effects started earlier for some people. So what if this is, so when we have a physical diagnosis, no matter what it is, it's an accumulation of habitual energy flowing in a certain way. And if we catch something first in more of the subtle energies, so more the spirit or the mind or the emotions, before it physicalizes, it's easier, which is in great part why I do the work I do. And I came back from Asia saying my mission was to professionalize the understanding of energy medicine. And if we in the West understood how much more ease and well-being and joy and abundance we could have if we would only go inward rather than the outward focus, then we would be much better off. And I've been doing that ever since I returned in 2010. So that's what you've been doing. So who's to say what you've been doing is wrong other than your ego mind criticizing you based on the evaluations from the old paradigm and the societal conditioning? And what if you being on this call tonight, people don't typically find me if they're brand new to this kind of stuff. I mean, some do, but like the finishing school of your spiritual path. Like if you've been working with something for a long time, so you have been, 2004, right?
Right.
If you want to finally get over it, I seem to be like that pinch hitter, the one that people rely on and actually gets you through a core pattern. I have specialist training and certification in behavioral change. I'm committed to actual behavioral change, not just like feeling lighter and more peaceful and connected to God only, but actual change in your life. And so for that to occur, the first step for you would be reframing your understanding of what's been going on for you. That isn't something bad or wrong, that perhaps your whole system gave you the physical diagnosis so that you could pull back from the job and could begin this transformation from the external focus to the internal focus. So what would you like to do now? What lights you up?
I'm drawn to law. That was my profession. I'm a paralegal. And I know I'm meant to help people. I don't know what it is, but I've been listening to all of your things. I've gone through all of your emails. I've listened to everything when you talked about the movements with the flow. I just did that last night. I was listening to one of your recordings, and it was where you stand and then you put your foot out and bring it back in, and your palms are up and your palms are down.
That's the movement I was talking about. Perfect.
Yeah. So when I was listening to you, I knew you were going to call on me. I just knew it. And I'm very pulled back right now. I'm usually very outgoing. But for me to have put my hand up, I'm like, well, what am I going to say? Because I just do feel so lost. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard your heart. And you're serving. You're not the only one, but you're not the only one on this call with this kind of I'm lost gig. Or what's my purpose gig? Yeah.
Right. Oh,
so
I know. It's a huge. It's. I don't know if. I just feel it more in the past, 5 years than I've ever felt. I mean, I've always felt spiritual and gentle, and so much of what's going on is so disruptive to my system.
Yep. So
I did have the Open the Drawbridge call with Claire, and I don't know why I'm waiting. It's like, what am I waiting for?
It's called self-sabotage.
Oh, I know. So, I know I am doing that, and that's why I'm on the call, and that's why I raised my hand because I'm.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. I had no idea that you were on an OTD call with Claire already.
No, I know. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
You're a little busy.
Thank you. But I want to address this because you're not the only one, Susie. There are so many people who you feel the possibilities when you listen to anything that I do, including the free monthly call. A slew of people have come into the Magic Manifestation and Money Flow signature program historically from what they've felt on this call. And so when you listen to me and you receive the clearing, something else opens up in you. You feel more connected to the possibilities. And then the nature of the ego mind is to protect us. It's given to us to protect us in the jungle, fight or flight, in face of a threat. Am I safe or not? Meaning it likes to keep us safe. So in the face of the unknown, a lot of the times it withdraws. It retracts. Like when you step out for that new possibility, it pulls you back.
Right.
And that's in great part why even the behavioral change specialist certification I have through my personal trainer certification, it's Western approached. from this new field of positive psychology after I left it as my first major because it wasn't focused on the positive. So I say that because even that falls short of understanding people in the process of change. Our ego minds don't gear us to going for change. That awareness that as you go for something that if you were not intimidated, if you were not sabotaging yourself, then your system intuitively would not have perceived there was actual change available from working with me. I threaten people. My energy threatens people's systems because there's actual change that happens from the work I do. And I will stay with you as your best cheerleader and hold you accountable for that change. And do clearings
on you. That's what I'm afraid of.
Exactly. You're afraid of the change. You're afraid of your power. You're afraid of your light. So everything
I'm living small. I know I'm living small.
So anywhere and everywhere, I'm going to run a clearing now for you and to everyone now. So anywhere and everywhere, any of you, beloved Susie, thank you for catalyzing this, are keeping yourselves small, are sabotaging yourselves, are afraid of your power, are afraid of your light, are afraid of how brilliant your life can actually be. Would you be willing to burn up with the flames of transmutation anything and everything that's blocking, that's keeping all of that in place, that self-sabotage and that fear?
Absolutely.
And you hear the passion. I'm in stand, command, demand mode here. I'm not messing around here. One more person free, get out into the holographic for more freedom for everybody. So change happens at a collective level. So any and all karma as appropriate that's in any way causing you to shrink back from shining brighter, having more, being more, causing you to keep yourself small, causing you to engage in self-sabotage and honoring the self-sabotaging voice you hear in your head. Burning all of that karma up as appropriate with the flames of transmutation. And you know, free-floating thoughts and traumas, it's not safe for me to shine. It's not safe for me to step out. That's what I'm hearing. I'll just get hurt. Something bad will happen. I'll fail. I'm not good enough. And, you know, imprints from your parents. I'm not worthy. I don't deserve. And any and all imprints from your parents, and lineage. I only get to a certain point. That's as far as I can reach or get to. And, you know, conditioning from the trance of the masses. People like me don't get that far. It's easier to just play small. It's more comfortable. That change I'm afraid of. I'm going to lose people if I change. I'm going to be rejected. I won't fit in. I'm going to have to sacrifice something. I'm going to have to take on more responsibilities. And, you know, unconscious or subconscious or even conscious beliefs, evaluations you have about why you need to self-sabotage and keep yourself small, why you're afraid of living out your greatest life, why you're afraid of shining as brightly as you possibly can. And, you know, contracts, oaths, vows, swearings, promises, and blood oaths across all timelines and lifetimes also are getting burned up now with the flames of transmutation. Really inhale and exhale and breathe this in. There's a lot that's moving. The back of your neck might be tingling or heated or tightening. Shoulders might be receiving something. It's easier to just stay this way. Don't change. It's going to require a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice. I don't want to sacrifice whatever I'm going to have to sacrifice because I know I'm going to have to sacrifice. I'm not going to like that sacrifice. Just stay the same. People will judge me. I don't want to be judged. I don't like being judged. What if I get rejected when I do shine so brightly? What if this doesn't work? What if I can't? I'm too old. I'm too tired. I don't have enough education. I'm not good with money. I don't deserve success. I'm meant to be small. I'm not like them. I can't. Did one of your animals just make a noise?
Yes. Sorry.
No, it's totally typical. They always respond to my energy. They come and sit on their computers a lot of the times, too.
I just can't go anywhere to get away from them. I'm outside.
Okay. Yeah, they want to be a part of it because it's life force.
I know.
It's life
it's
force
amazing.
getting into the blockages. They like life. Life is buoyant and a celebration.
Oh,
so
yeah, they're puppies.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
So all of the habituation to the shutdown, to shutting yourself down, to shutting your life down, to shutting your light down, to keeping yourself small, all of that wants to get burned up with the flames of transmutation.
I feel like I lost 100 pounds.
Brilliant. Okay, then we're going to activate the upgrade now because that was a lot. That was a lot I hammered you with. So no wonder why you 100 pounds. All right, so what am I doing? Activating the upgrade now. So any and all latent keys and codes and ancient wisdom and latent talents within you. Beloved Susie and everyone else listening to this live or on the replay. And any and all blessings and support possible to bring this all into alignment with your at least fifth dimensional divine blueprint for your highest possibilities and your highest potential to be realized. Activating the upgrade now. Part of what is getting activated is courage.
Mhm. I can feel it.
Excellent. Where do you feel it?
My whole body. I'm like trembling.
So in the Magic Manifestation Money Flow program, I will be about 3 steps ahead of you, allowing you to have a little bit of comfort and then pulling you out of it.
Okay.
So you can change.
I know
so
I can.
Not,
and you know how you say, like, I don't want to live bigger. I want to stay small. I am being pushed so hard out of that into something.
You found me.
Yes, I did.
People don't find me unless they're ready to change. I have said that for so many years. People will find me and they'll disappear. They'll listen to one call and they'll disappear for a year or 6 months or 2 years, and then they'll somehow find me again. It's really crazy. So
is it when the student is ready, the teacher will come?
Yeah, but look at you. You rejected the teacher your first try through. You had access to. Susie, you've got something that matches because I called on you even after you've been on an OCD call and this needed to get boosted in you. That's interesting. So there's something in you. You're right when you say and I'm not surprised, because when our soul is asking, when our higher self is guiding us to have something new, we can't ignore it. When we do, it increases our suffering.
Right.
And as soft as right, she says immediately in response, not missing the beat. So when that guidance comes in, it will first come in softly, and we can ignore it, right? It's that softer voice, whereas our ego mind is like much louder and much more forceful, and we hear it much more easily, and the guidance seems to be more like a whisper. You have to kind of pay a little bit more attention. Was that guidance? And then we dismiss it with our mind. We just made it up.
Right.
And then yep. So then it has to come in another time, in another way. Still pretty soft. We don't pay attention to it. Up goes the dial on our suffering. Third time, the universe brings it in another way. Yep. So apparently you are quite stubborn, yeah?
I am. I am.
Which
indeed.
is not a bad thing. When you're on the other side of this, it's not a bad thing, because it's also reframed into tenaciousness.
Right.
Okay. So my mom was a paralegal, my dear Susie.
Aww.
And what happened when you said that was I had probably a list of 3 things that came up that you could possibly do. And that was guidance. It doesn't feel like it was like I'm coming up with ideas for you. It felt like it was guidance. And then you said, and I want to help people. And it was before you said, and I want to help people, 3 different versions of what you could possibly do came up. So,
wonderful.
Yeah, I offer this kind of guidance, and I don't mean to be like this, but it's not appropriate for me to go into that at this point. It's more appropriate. Because if I give it to you, you're going to maybe look into it and then lose steam. If I give it to you in the container of magic manifestation and money flow, I can stay on your self-sabotaging. I can pull you out of your funk, and I could say, hey, what did you do that Google I suggested and bring me the first 5 names that occurred to you so I could give you an intuitive read on who to contact. So the kind of accountability that I hold you to and clear the blocks that come up as you're engaging in the dance of self-sabotage as we unravel the pattern, because any block, there's like 2 or 3 major scars in our lives that are our patterns that we want to move beyond, and they tend to show up like a ball of yarn. Right? So I pull one belief, I clear another belief, so the yarn ball starts to unravel. So that's what I'm doing while you're in action towards that change. So if I give it to you now, it's not going to be valuable. If you're paying for it, you're going to make it valuable.
Right. And I am a great student. Once I'm in, I'm in. So I'm in.
I get it. Well, congratulations, Susie. Your heart's calling for something more for yourself, clearly. And thank you for being such a great, I don't know what the word is right now, but it really helped the masses on this call. You were going to say something when I said that. I think you were going to say, yeah, because I focus so much on being on purpose or in passion. I think you were going to say something like that when I said before it's really helping those on this call. You started to say, yeah, because you.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's okay. You're in a totally different space now. So
I am.
Listen to this replay. Yep, and this is the new place. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I feel, even just in talking with you, I feel like I'm taking up the whole call, and I feel bad.
No, it's really serving others, because it allowed me to go deep within. I mean, you said you felt like you lost 100 pounds. I pounded on you a ton of clearings. I didn't just stay with self-sabotage. I said everything that was coming up. Which I don't always do on the free call, because I could rip somebody into a healing response. It's irresponsible of me. All right, lovely. I look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Oh, very soon, and thank you so much.
Listen to the replay, this part, so you can run this
I will.
yourself again. Okay. Bye. Blessings. Yay, we served Illinois. Okay, so now... It's 10:11, and I went into depth. And I'm going to give myself a break and say Blessings, y'all. Night-night. Bye.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Allison.
Thank you.
Gracias.